Number 5 is number 1. Number 3 and number 4.
What are you talking about?
I'm ranking my favorite Fast and the Furious movies.
Amazing. Wait, what was your ranking, mate? Because I'm not even kidding you. A few months ago, I watched through the whole series. Don't ask me why.
Number 5 is number 1.
No, instantly. No, Jason. Like, look, okay, it's not the peak of cinema, right? None of them are. Okay, now we know where we're at. I think it was number 8, honestly, that was like the best one. Something like that. It was a later one. No, that's not true. The first, by the way, no, okay, it was this year, but it was a while ago now. The first one is a genuinely good film. Well put together story, has a nice start, middle, and an end. And they should have left it there. But I think one of the newer, I think 8, don't hold me to that, but like one of the later ones is like the second best. And then the rest of them are kind of, they're fine. Turn your brain off, whatever. It is what it is. But like none of the other ones are like good stuff. Stories.
I'm ranking my favorite Fast and the Furious movies.
Because I used to love the second one. That was the first one I ever saw, by the way. Too Fast, Too Furious. I loved it as a kid. I rewatched it. It doesn't hold up.
And is that a family member?
What? You don't recognize Ariana?
How did you get here?
That's a good point. Sorry, I wasn't even asking. I should have been. Apparently, they just got switched because they got the exact same name. What are the chances of that happening twice? Interesting. How did he get here?
We need to have a rock-solid argument for why fake Eleanor should not be sent to the bad place.
Should be fun.
Who's this guy?
Slightest misstep could cause fake Eleanor to suffer for eternity.
All I'm thinking about now.
Mama John was a human rights advocate.
Yeah?
He and real Eleanor will build a sort of legal argument.
Perfect.
Why don't you tell me about your time here? In the first 24 hours, I caused the world to erupt into chaos.
Yeah, that's not necessarily your... Well, was it? She did do some bad things, that's true.
You know, a lot of death row inmates
Wow.
about things they never said or love.
Are you making a move on me? It's fine, I just didn't see it coming.
I'm talking about you and Chidi.
You think I'm into Chidi?
I do.
Do you?
Because you are.
Do you think?
You mentioned his name 9 times in the last 10 minutes.
I just feel like she's not really had a proper friend. I think that's what it is. Can it not just be platonic? Do you know what I mean? Do we all have to be romantically attached? I hate that. I hate that trope with TV shows. They always have to attach people. Do you know what I mean? It's like you don't have to do that. It's a perfectly realistic thing for people to not like each other that way.
I don't need the Chidi who once had a panic attack during rock, paper, scissors because there were, and I quote, just too many variables. I mean, how do you even...
I don't know.
Someone asked it. Good.
Let's start small. Dry erase board or the regular pen and paper?
Oh, always the erase board. Absolutely. It's way more fun. I don't know why. Maybe it's because whatever debauchery I write on there, I can instantly get rid of when I feel guilty about it. Yes, I draw cotton bollocks. Who doesn't? Like, come on. I actually don't. I really don't. I usually draw like a clown. Do you know, like a cartoon clown? That maybe says more about me. Anyway.
I have to consider all the factors. Gender politics. Should I pick a girl as a gesture towards women's equality?
Oh my guy.
Or is that pandering?
You've always been like this, huh? Although I will say this, if more people thought like he did, world be a better place. He goes, you know, to one extreme end of the spectrum, but I do feel like more people, if everybody thought even like, you know, 50% of the way he did, it'd be a much more thoughtful world, much more empathetic world. Because like, this is the thing. We're talking about it, right, all the time, every episode. I would say a lot of people don't think about this at all. A lot of people don't want to think about it. Because that's the thing I think people do. I think they're like, oh, it's too hard. You can't be thinking about this all the time. And it's like, I get that from the perspective of like, you're looking at Chidi and it's like, okay, that's untenable. But I do feel like what he's doing to a lesser extent is absolutely not only possible, I think should be encouraged. In England, there was a class that we did in secondary school that no one took seriously. It was citizenship was the lesson. So, you know, you have English, you have maths, it was citizenship. No one honestly still knows what we were taught in those lessons. I will be completely honest with you. It was kind of political a little bit, you know, slightly about politics. I can't remember a lesson, I'll be honest with you. Everyone dossed off, we just talked or whatever. It was a joke of a class, okay? I think that class should be philosophy. It should. I think we should be taught philosophy and the idea of morals as a foundational subject, because I think this kind of thing, there's that argument, isn't there, about, you know, we need religion because it teaches you morals. I adamantly disagree with that. I don't think you necessarily need any outside influence to be a morally good person. I don't think you necessarily need to be taught it. I think there is something to be said for innate goodness and knowing what is good. But then at the same time, I suppose it's a question of like, have we been taught that? Have we been conditioned that because of the rules of our society? I know that's a topic as well. But I think if you have an example before you and you are a blank slate of a person and you see someone bending down to pick up an apple and you want that apple, but they got there first, I think, you know, a lot of people would be like, well, they got there first, it's their apple, as opposed to being like, that, and that, you know, these people exist too, as opposed to being like, you know, going over, pushing them, grabbing the apple for yourself and running away. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that kind of simplistic example, I do feel like most people, if they don't act and make the good choice, they know what that good choice is without being taught it. Or at least I do think that that basic element of right and wrong is taught to people by their parents, right? Even if the example is a bad one and it's like they're doing a bad thing and you as a kid, you're like, well, that doesn't make me feel good, that's bad. I think you get the foundations for that just as a baseline, right? As a kid being parented generally. Sorry, that does a little bit go against the innate thing, right? It's difficult, innit? Because I don't think we'll ever truly know that. You can't possibly truly ever know that unless you put, you know, some kid in, you know, horrible environment with no support system, no parents, and you test it that way, right? You can't do that. I guess maybe it's wishful thinking, you know, talking about, I think people innately do have that. At the same time, while that statement, in my opinion, is true, that doesn't mean that everybody practices that, thinks about that regularly. I think, you know, it depends on, we were talking about this a little bit, I think last episode before, nature versus nurture, and I think some people, like I read a lot. I read a lot as a kid, and I played a lot of video games. I don't think you need this. I think you should have it, but playing video games, reading books, I as a person, I as a young child was constantly bombarded with almost moral dilemmas. You're bombarded with archetypes, tropes, heroes, villains. Maybe you read something a little bit grayer and you have those things presented to you. Play video games, you know, I play a lot of RPGs where you decide what to do. One example, top of my head, Knights of the Old Republic Star Wars game, where you can literally choose to be a light side person or a dark side person, if you're aware of Star Wars and how that works, right? And you can make decisions based on those two things, and you have quests or whatever. That's what an RPG is, and it's a role-playing game. You are put into that situation and put in a situation that you probably would never encounter in your real life. And I do feel like, you know, those kinds of things helped me, informed me. I do believe in the innate thing. I do think at a certain point though, some people can ignore that innateness or decide for themselves due to circumstance or whatever else it might be, that despite knowing what the right choice is, they're not going to act on that. And sorry, I rambled. It's so easy to ramble on these subjects because they're so huge, and sorry, I do bounce around a little bit, I do. Hopefully it is mostly coherent. But my what started this and my greater point is that I think this stuff, that's why I brought up the example of the video games and the reading. Like I read a lot as a kid, I played a lot of video games as a kid, and I get that that is privilege as well, right? My parents could afford that, I could afford that, you know, through allowance or whatever else. At the same time, some people don't take to reading, some people don't take to video games, some people don't like those things, and that's obviously absolutely fine. But I think, and I'm also not saying isolated, that that's where I got my, you know, nurture morals from. I think that helped, and I think that made me think about it a lot more than I would if I didn't have those things. But that's my point, is that I think people should have things that make them think about this stuff, because I think going into adulthood then, never encountering that in your real life, and then suddenly you do, I think maybe some people make the wrong choices, you know, or they're not as empathetic perhaps as they could be. And I think circling back eventually, finally we got there, I'm so sorry, I think it should be taught in schools. I think it should be a basic subject, and through that I think we should be talking about morals. I think it's so integral to us as creatures, and I think it's such an integral element to how we live and what we do when we're alive. We prioritize English, maths, science, important things. I have a lot of beef with the educational system. I'm not going to go into that here. And I'm not saying those aren't important, the three main subjects, but I think philosophy should be. That is part of the building blocks of society.
No, you're wrong.
I don't buy this. I don't think she does.
He always twitches his eyebrows when he says absolutism.
She's going to turn around and be like, you noticed all this stuff because you like him. And it's like, no.
He's also incredibly patient, surprisingly jacked. Fork, I'm in love with Chidi.
I don't love this decision. She didn't have to be at all.
Would a hug make you feel better?
I don't think that it would.
Late, you're getting warm.
Thanks, Bomba John. That does make me feel better.
Okay. Fair enough. But, you know, consent matters, dude.
Yet another lie.
Chidi did it. He switched it to this one because he said you'd like it more. And he made me memorize stuff to say to you so you wouldn't be so sad.
Everyone fancies Chidi. My goodness. Tahani, apparently. Eleanor, fine, whatever. And his actual, apparently, soulmate, other Eleanor. God, my man.
This is a... I mean, who even are those ladies?
Okay.
Would be easier if I could write down the pros and cons for each. But, of course, I would have to use one of them to write down the pros and cons.
Oh, my man. I'm glad that we're tackling this, because this is an issue.
I dated many annoying guys.
What an opener.
You are way more of a buzzkill.
Okay, thanks for this conversation.
I want to stay in the good place because of you. Because I love you, I think.
No,
Pretty sure. Yeah.
I don't think, no. I think this is the thing. She's going through a very changing part of her life right? Big things are happening. She's changed a lot as a person. And I think we had other Eleanor coming in and almost feeding this thing of like, this is why you want to be here. This is why you feel so good. I think she does derive a lot of happiness from Chidi, but I just, from what I've seen, it is platonic and it is just friendship. I think maybe we're going to walk this back because I think other Eleanor was kind of pushing it in her face, right? And I think it's easy. She's just come in, right? It's easy to misinterpret that. Yeah. I'm putting a pin in this because I don't like it either. And I think it dismantles a lot of the work that she's done to be like, she only did that because she liked Chidi romantically. I don't think that's true. I think she did want to be a good person. I guess it's, you know, wishful thinking. I want it to be because she wanted to be a good person, and she is making strives to not just be a good person, but discover who she is and who she wants to be. I like that for Eleanor. And I think making it because of Chidi and the romantic tie, I think that cheapens it, and I don't like that. And I think you cannot have romantic ties to somebody and be close to them as well.
John, you're a fake.
You love me.
Oh, Chidi. You and I are soulmates. It makes so much sense.
Amazing.
I'm just a girl, towering over a boy, asking him to admit he loves me.
Oh God, we all got to stop pressuring the love word.
I feel like her confession of love was a lot better than mine. Can I get a do-over?
I need to step outside
Yeah,
for some air.
fair enough.
I will not be back for many days.
We all just got to take a step back. There's a lot happening.
A hurricane is coming. You need to seek shelter.
Is this how he died?
What are you watching?
My greatest accomplishment.
Is he gonna fall for Janet?
Why are you so nice to me?
You were very nice to me while I was rebooting.
Oh,
Also, I'm programmed to be nice to everyone.
fair. But what she said before that, is she gonna get consciousness? I was talking about it when she was getting murdered, how she is just a computer program. Is she gonna transcend that, I wonder? That'll be interesting.
I just realized something.
Go on.
I love you.
Okay, what's happening?
Technically, you told him that he loves you, but yes.
That's true. She did.
You're simply going to have to pick one of us.
Maybe if you lose, if he doesn't pick me, I'ma start throwing stuff.
Oh man, guys, it's not losing or winning.
I suppose you knew that Johnny was a fake, didn't you?
So did Chidi.
We're not gonna do this. We are not gonna be those
Good.
women who fight over a guy.
Yes, Eleanor.
I am not going to apologize for being angry. You knew that my soulmate was lying to me.
That's valid.
And I'm very sorry.
Nice. Hey.
What would make you feel happy right now?
Hey, Eleanor, dude, that's awesome.
Which person is my soulmate?
Real Eleanor. That's what the system determined.
Right.
Of course,
Uh,
the system did screw up.
yeah.
Fake Eleanor being selected accidentally and then you bonding with her could have shifted the formula.
But it's one of those two people.
Well, I don't know.
This is the thing, exactly.
I don't know. I mean, the system might be so screwed up at this point that maybe
Yeah.
you don't belong to either Eleanor.
Hey, do you know, the show catching up to me? It is. I'm sorry, I know I phrased it that way to make me look like the big man. I did. I'm gonna take that. I am the big man, sorry. It's gone to my head a little bit. But yeah, exactly. This is the thing. The idea of him bonding with somebody else. I mean, I was saying Tahani, right? Over, you know, the other Eleanor, not our Eleanor. If that turns out to be legit, I'm going to be a little bit mad. I don't like that. Inserting this romantic tie between our Eleanor and Chidi just feels forced. And it does. I think it's this trope of like having to connect people that have spent a lot of time together, and it's like, well, they must have romantic feelings for each other. Then it's like, no, you don't have to always do that, man. Okay. Anyway, sorry, I'm gonna stop talking about it because I don't know yet. But this is my point. This is what I was saying, you know, now that it's being challenged, it throws all of the rules of the good place into a grey area.
Your indecisiveness is infecting me like a virus. Oh.
That's not how that works.
Just mulling the ethical ramifications of various soups.
What?
And I love you like a brother. That's why I'd like you to not be my best man. If you were my best man, you'd have to plan the bachelor party, decide what to say in your toast.
That's kind.
This isn't choosing soccer teams on a playground.
No, it's much bigger.
When something's important to me, I can make a decision. The pumpkin soup.
Okay, let it rest. Don't you call him back. Yeah, you good?
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Excuse me. Risotto?
Yes, always a good choice. Go for the risotto.
I'm really sorry that I didn't tell you about Jianyu.
Nice. I like this. It's actually building a genuine relationship between them. Because I think it was genuine before, but now that everything's out in the open, even Jianyu, Jason's out in the open too, they can actually bond properly because they both know who they are.
I forgive you.
Nice.
Maybe you two are soulmates.
Okay.
Maybe we are.
We've all got to just calm down.
Jianyu is a hot dummy. Definitely my type. I think this is the answer.
Oh, he got lumped along with you. Right.
Hi there.
Jason and I are getting married, and you're invited.
Okay.
Here we've got your...
I think we're going to come down out. It's getting messy. It's so messy. And that's very on purpose. I think we're going to come down on like, it doesn't matter. Just everyone chill out and decide who you like. Forget soulmates. Forget what the good places assigned you. Who do you like? Simple as that.
The answer is real, Eleanor.
How do you know?
I don't. But the minute I said that, you knew instinctively whether it felt right.
Well, hang on, let me think about that.
No!
I had a little trouble writing my speech.
Wedding's in 20 minutes, buddy.
My God.
We haven't picked up the ring.
There's an issue there involving what I consider to be unfair labor.
Oh my God. I'm stressed, man.
We never had a bachelor party because you could never settle on a location.
Oh no. Oh, oh.
Here's the thing, bud. My wedding isn't for another month. This was a test. Let's just go have a nice night. I'll buy you a beer.
Oh, that's very sweet.
We've been trying to pick a bar for 30 minutes.
Oh my God.
It is literally impossible to be your friend.
Oh.
What's the harm in taking a few extra minutes to find the perfect...
Oh God. Wow.
Chidi?
Wow.
Yo, check it.
Okay.
Does anybody here object to this marriage?
Of course we do.
Do you want me to be your wife?
Yeah.
This is not official.
By the power vested in me, by me.
Okay. Oh, maybe it is. Fine.
He's a simple man.
I once watched him eat electrical tape right off the... I swear, if I had known you and Tahani and Chidi on Earth, I might have for real gotten into the good place.
Yeah, man. Interesting thing to say. But it's difficult as well. Like, it's all well and good saying, well, if I'd had you down on Earth when I was alive, I would have been different. I would have been like this. It's like, would you though? You maybe. But I feel like also the thing that's changed you has been the circumstances of your situation here. I think it's also the people. I think it's also Tahani, Chidi, you know. But I don't think if you automatically have them in your life down on Earth, that changes everything. Because like to me, I'm like, well, maybe she would have pushed them away in the way that we've seen that she does to kind of everybody, or had done to kind of everybody. I don't know. It's not as simple as that, I think.
I do love you, but I think
Yes.
we're in a best friend afterlife.
Okay, thank you.
Surprisingly ripped teacher.
Is he, now you've said that twice, I'm kind of curious. What's he packing?
You were the nearest lifeboat, as it were.
Okay.
And yes, we do have the sort of connection that highly educated sophisticates could have, but it's not true love.
Not yet.
True love is what Janet and Gianni have.
What?
Oh, we would...
Okay, good things. I like it. Hey, as long as they're happy. All right, good. I'm happy. Perfect. That's what I suspect. That's what I thought. But don't tease me like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Interesting things. Hey, that was episode 10. That was Chidi's choice. Thank you so much for watching. If you're not already, please do subscribe. Tick the notification button as well. If you'd like to support me, I do have a Patreon for early access videos over there. I have YouTube memberships as well. Got some cool emojis and some badges as well. Hey, just to tempt you. Lots of flamingos. That's all I'll say. Thank you for those who do support me. That was the video. Watch this video right here. And other than that, I will see you soon.